Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. Welcome to the Rebuild Podcast. Today we are going to be focusing on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. So, Jokic and the Nuggets just announced this morning, as of June 25th, 2018, that he was going to be declining. No, man. The Nuggets were going to be declining his team option, making him a restricted free agent. And then after that, they are now offering him a 5-year, $146.5 million max contract. So basically what this allows him to lock him up as of right now, as opposed to next NBA offseason, he would be a free agent, an unrestricted free agent. Any team could go out there and go for him. So when it comes to the Nuggets, I mean, you don't want to risk losing your young 23-year-old big man. So I do think giving him this type of money does make sense. But there's a lot of people out there that are saying that Jokic is actually overrated, which I simply cannot get behind. I think this guy is one of the best younger players in the NBA. Now, if he was like 29, 30, putting up the numbers he is, then it's like, all right, it's a little bit more of a risk, even just a little bit more of a risk. But the fact that he's only 23 and putting up the numbers that he's putting up is absolutely crazy, guys. So in his third NBA season, Jokic averaged 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. And also, let me mention this, man. He also got 1 steal and almost 1 block, and shot 50% field goal percentage, which is like decent. I mean, the year before he shot about 58%, so it's down a little bit. But his three-point percentage went from 32% to 40% from 3 for a 6'10 big man. This guy is awesome. Like, me as a Pistons fan, I'm salty that I do not have Jokic on my team. I would take him over Andre Drummond, guys, hand down, man down. I would totally take him over Drummond. The thing about Jokic, though, is like, it's not like the sexiest name out there in the sense that it's not like, yo, man, that's not Stephen Curry, or that's not, I don't know, man, that's not Russell Westbrook. Like, no, man, this is Nikola Jokic, a guy that was picked round 2, pick number 11 in 2014 from Serbia, kind of off the radar, and just came to the NBA, worked hard, and now he's one of the best young players in the NBA. So I think for the Denver Nuggets standpoint, this makes complete sense to lock this man up as opposed to losing him in free agency. The thing that I find most impressive about him is that, yes, the Denver Nuggets did not make it to the playoffs, but they were 1 game away. If you guys remember that last game of the season, it was an elimination game against the Minnesota Timberwolves to see who would get that 8th spot. And yes, they did lose, but Jokic had one hell of a game, guys. I don't have his stats pulled up here, but man, it was crazy. No, man, here it is. I got it right here, man. 35 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal on 14 for 25 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3. And let me say, this man was launching from like Jimmer range, Stephen Curry range. So this guy's got some range on him too. But it's not only that. Paul Millsap, who you could argue is their second best player because he was an all-star the season before he was like out for a long period of time with injury. He was out for much of this NBA season. So it's like he led them to nearly the playoffs without their second best player. You look beyond that, and this roster is extremely young. I mean, Jokic, like I was saying, is 23. Gary Harris, who himself does have a large contract. I mean, Gary Harris got himself like an $84 million contract or something like that, which is pretty large. I mean, for his NBA season, he did put about 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Defensively, he's great. Shoots about 40% himself from 3. So, I mean, the potential of this team, I think, is what it's all about. You got Jamal Murray out there who's 21. I believe he has a team option, or I don't know if it's a team option or not, but anyway, he'll be back with the team, I'm sure. And Jamal Murray got himself 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, like I was saying, at the age of 21. So this team is extremely young, and they are investing in their future because, you know, 3-4 years down the road, when all these guys are still in their contracts, I mean, they are going to be entering their NBA prime. So they almost made the playoffs in the Western Conference without even being in their prime. And that's pretty much what I gotta say right there, guys. Pretty much what I gotta say about that. But as far as like the future of this team, so how exactly can you build around Jokic? And first and foremost, can Jokic be a championship, the best player on a championship contending team? I don't think he can be the number 1 option when you a championship. I don't think he's that type of player, but I do think he warrants the max contract because, you know, you can always give out a few of those. I think Jokic could be a second, maybe a third option, depending how tough the conference is at the time and on an NBA championship team. We, of course, got to put the right players around them. You know, I was talking about Jamal Murray dropping his 18 points. While I do like his game a lot, I would absolutely love to see this team go for more of a natural point guard. I've talked about guys like Mike Conley before. Kemba Walker would be a nice fit. And a few others out there that could definitely fit the mold of the Denver Nuggets and be like a veteran, just your traditional guy out there that can get you, you know, about 17 points, 7 assists out there, a few steals. That's why I love Mike Conley. I think he's the perfect fit on this Denver Nuggets team. And I'm not saying get rid of Jamal Murray because, like I said, man, that 18 points at the age of 21, like that's insane. But I see his role as being like a Lou Williams, Manu Ginobili type of six-man off the bench. And that's not like a shot at him. That's not saying, oh my God, what? As we know from like Manu Ginobili, those guys can be game changers, man. Jamal Crawford, those guys can be game changers. I feel like the six-man off a team is just as important as any guy in the starting lineup because those guys are still going to get about 28 minutes a game at least. You know, something around there, especially if there's foul trouble. Then if you have a really good six-man to come in, it's like you pick off right where you let off as far from a starting lineup standpoint. So, you know, I like the idea of that, getting the more veteran-oriented point guard. Gary Harris at the 2 spot. I think him and Jokic, that's a nice fit right there. And then you look at the small forward and power forward position. Well, what really makes this make so much more sense is that this team was able to steal Michael Porter Jr. with the 14th pick in the 2018 NBA draft. If he can put all the things together, then Michael Porter, I feel like, could be that number one option alongside Jokic to eventually, maybe someday, once like LeBron James retires and like the Golden State Warriors get older, could lead this team to an NBA championship. I think that capability, that possibility is definitely there. Am I saying it's a high chance? I'm not saying that, but you know, the NBA is a business, so you want to put your money in assets that you hope will give you a future return. They're not going to win a championship next season. 3-4 years down the road, who knows, man? Who knows about that? Michael Porter alongside Jokic is like, that could be pretty damn deadly, because I'm thinking Porter, you know, his ceiling is obviously an all-star / superstar. Like that's his ceiling out there. His floor, obviously, man, is like being a bust in the NBA and being injured. Even if he's like a decent role player, I feel like that could definitely work things out. Then you look at the power forward position. I mean, Paul Millsap is not the long-term option for this team. I think he does have a player option right now where, no, it's either a team or a player option worth about $30 million. Last NBA season dropped about 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Well, I think he's a nice player along Jokic. I would like to see probably more of a defensive-oriented power forward out there, just to kind of make up for some of the things that Jokic could lag on times from the defense side of things. But even with that, man, Jokic did get about 1-2 steals, 1 block a game out there. So it's not like the man is horrible at defense. I'm not sure where that's quite come from. Yeah, like maybe he's not quick on his feet or something like that, which is totally, you know, plausible to say. But I don't think he's like gonna kill you defensively. It's not like, yo, man, hand down, man down, whoever offense on Jokic. I'm definitely not seeing that out there. You look at the bench of this team, though, man, and this is where it's kind of got some nice potential too. You got Will Barton. If they decide to re-sign him, he was a big-time scorer for this team. He's only 27, 6'6", shooting guard / small forward. Can do a little bit of everything. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block per game on his 2017-2018 NBA season. And then this is the player right here that I feel like, ooh, if he can pull all things together, this can be like a demigod squad out there. That is Trey Lyles from Kentucky. He was picked round 1, pick number 12 of 2015. Still, it's like in his first three NBA seasons, he's proven to be more of a role player. He is only 22, so it's like he still has time to really put things together. But even last NBA season, 10 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Steals and blocks were not quite there, but you know, if you can't get that perfect like defensive player to complement Jokic, then you want to go out there. You want somebody that can go out there and spread the floor, because Jokic is able to score it in the post. He's able to shoot the 3 balls. And I'm going to go as far as say this. All right, some people are going to take this the completely wrong way, so let me just go on and say, well, I don't think Jokic is the next Dirk Nowitzki. I'm not saying that. Dirk Nowitzki is an all-time legend. There's only ever going to be one Dirk out there. I think that him being a Euro-style basketball player, you know, come from the Euro League and stuff like that, wherever league he played in, I think he can have the same type of effect where he kind of changes the game for the big man. Because the thing about Dirk is that he had crazy range, one of the greatest shooters of all time. He was able to, you know, knock it down off the dribble. His fadeaway was just something we've never seen before. So yeah, Jokic, I'm not saying he can has that shot off the dribble or that fadeaway like Dirk does, but I think his combination of the handles, that Jokic is out there, his post game out there, man, his passing abilities is revolutionary for the big man. Yeah, there's guys that can do it out there, but I literally, man, I always say this about Jokic. He is literally a point guard inside a center's body. And that is what you want in this era of small ball basketball. He is like freaking Draymond Green on steroids, minus the defense. In the sense that, yeah, minus the defense. I'll give it to him, man. Minus the Draymond Green's savage on defense. But I mean, in the sense of the scoring, the playmaking, and the rebounding. He can do it all out there. He's a great player, without doubt in my mind, worth that $146.5 million. When you're the Denver Nuggets, you know, that's not like I'm not going to say they're like a big market team. They're not going out there and signing these crazy superstar players. So you almost got to work with what you got. And they're working it out. Kenneth Faried, you can trade him away probably at this point. It gets something for him. I think he's got one more year left on his contract. Wilson Chandler, he's always been a good veteran off the bench. I mean, he's kind of fallen off this past season, only down to about 10 points per game. He was at 16 the season before. Mason Plumlee, good backup center. They also got like some other guys out there that are not really gonna do all that much other, man. We pretty much went through the whole starting five with this team and everything like that and all the bench players. But yeah, so just trying to get past you guys that if you don't think Jokic is worth that max contract, please let me know in the comment section below, guys. What is your reasoning behind this? Because when I see guys like Otto Porter, who are good NBA players, being in those bitch-ass contracts, when you look at Joakim Noah's contract, when you look at Timothy Mozgov's contract, how can you say a young 23-year-old guy that can do it all on the court is not worth the max contract in this NBA? If there was only one max contract to give out, if there's one allowed per team, then you can make the argument saying, okay, maybe you give Jokic a little bit less than that and try to save that for a superstar player if you can somehow convince one to come over. But I think this team's a few seasons away. I think this team's a few seasons away, and maybe adding one additional all-star to the team, assuming Michael Porter doesn't become that player, from becoming NBA championship contenders. I'm not saying they're going to be the Warriors. I'm not saying they're going to be going no freaking 70 or 73-9 on the season or whatever. But as far as being like a high 50-win team, I think it's definitely possible. Guys, give me your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.